Hello everyone, this is Anjushi, and today we are going to discuss something that has been a topic much discussed amongst some of the people I know and who practice these manifestation techniques. The topic is how to know if your manifestation is working or whether you're successfully manifesting things and you are on the way of getting what you desire. Before we begin, I would like to tell you a short story about myself. This happened, I think, last year. I didn't know about manifestation, or I didn't know about a lot of things that the law of attraction advocates. I was completely clueless about this, but I had tried to script and engage in this scripting method maybe 2 years back, but I wasn't very successful because I didn't know where I was going wrong. So the story actually dates back into 2019, sometime in summer. So I had this weird dream of two people, and this was much before I became close with my specific person. I saw this weird dream where I was in a gym. I had started working out very recently, and I began working out in the first half of 2019, and I didn't really know my specific person properly at that point of time, but I was sure that sometime maybe we can bond together and we can be really good friends. So in this dream, I saw two people, someone who I dearly loved, but there was no response from his side, and there was my specific person. Now, I never gave a thought about my specific person before I went to sleep. So we were in this gym. The dream had this space, and we were in the gym, and we were working out. I was running on the treadmill, and suddenly what happened was that I stepped down from the treadmill after I was done with my running, and then I tripped over a pair of legs, and I fell down on my specific person. Now the legs that were in the picture, those were of the person I dearly loved, and I fell over that, and somehow I was about to fall on my specific person, but then I woke up because the alarm had gone off. Let me just give you a context of this particular dream. So before going to sleep, I was just randomly looking through my Instagram, and I was thinking that how would it be like if I was a completely fit person, if I was not fat at all. I had these weird insecurity about myself that nobody's going to like me because I'm fat. So I was just thinking that how would it be like if I was fit and fine, and I would have boys all chasing me, and probably the pretty people have everything going for them, and I can never get the relationship I want. So I was thinking about this, but I was not thinking about my specific person. I was in contact with him through WhatsApp, and we were discussing about an interview that I was supposed to take for something, for a blog or something like that. I don't remember, but yeah. So this was something that had happened, and I had shared a story from his profile on my Instagram, and it was about this interview that it's good to collab with such people and this and that. I was just doing that for my own purpose, like for the writing purpose and the blog purpose. I don't really remember what it was, but it was something like that, which is why I'd shared his picture. But that was not the day I saw this dream. It was sometime earlier. What happened next was that before going to sleep, I was just thinking about how uh, it would be a great improvement for me to have all these people running after me if I was fitter, and if I was pretty looking, and if I was beautiful. So I went to sleep thinking about all this, and at night, I think I can remember that I was not able to sleep properly. But just before maybe I waking up, you have this weird phase when you have these dreams that you can remember. So this dream I remember till this date, because I told my specific person very recently that I had dreamt a few once in this manner, that I had tripped over a pair of legs and I fell on your side. I was just an inch away from hurting you, or from, sort of colliding with you, something like that. So when I started practicing these manifestation techniques and I started to know about the law of attraction, I realized what that dream meant. So I was thinking, what if I was fit and fine? After I met my specific person, I became, I wouldn't say that I slimmed down or something, but I became more confident, because he told me certain ways to carry myself and how I should concentrate on the food I ate. He gave me a lot of tips because we worked on a book together, and that's how things came about. We also worked on a blog and a website and stuff like that. The next thing was that after meeting him, I also realized that I took myself too seriously, which is like, maybe I thought that things don't happen my way because it has to do with my looks, or it has to do with the way I conduct myself in public. So he told me that I should just chill, I should just let go, I should just surrender and trust the Almighty for everything. So I started taking myself less seriously after meeting him. The third thing was that the dream actually meant that the treadmill is supposed to, it's a motion. Okay, so when this thing is in motion, when your body is in motion, you are not thinking about anything, right? So I was running on this treadmill, and once I got off and I tripped on a pair of legs, the pair of legs signified that it was an obstruction. And due to this obstruction, I fell to the side of my specific person. Now this is where some people go really, really wrong. I'll tell you why. Often when you're trying to manifest and you find that there is something which is not working, or you'll find that you're trying so hard, you're thinking so hard, and you're doing all these positive affirmations and still not working, that is actually a part of the event in totality. So even if there's a delay and you put too much attention to that, you're not living in the end. So that means that your contradictory thoughts are going to tamper with that whole manifestation process. You're not going to see the result because you have contradictory thoughts about the same. And this is the reason why some people lose hopes and they just don't want to continue with the process. They think that, okay, this is not working, and they might be just an inch away from that goal, but they'll probably turn back because they think that the manifestation is not working. So after I started studying on the law of attraction, then I realized that that obstruction that is there, that is actually on the journey. Okay, it's not to derail you, it's not to tell you that you should go back, but it is actually a way of the universe communicating with you that you're just a little away from your goal, and this might actually speed up. So how do you know whether this manifestation technique that you're applying to yourself and to your thoughts, whether it's working? If you're trying to manifest, and if you're trying to manifest it within a specific time, that is, let's say that you're saying something to yourself today and you want to see the result tomorrow, but you do not see the results as fast as that, then you pick up subtle signs. Like maybe a small gesture, or maybe something that was really happy. You see a happy couple on Instagram, or you see somebody getting married, or you see somebody's got a promotion, you see somebody's won the lottery ticket, you see someone's gotten better from a sickness. You pick up these subtle signs. When you see these positive things around you, you'll know that your manifestation is working, because the more positive you become in life, the more positivity you come across. So this is one of the main reasons why I stopped watching certain YouTube channels, like how to get the guy, and how to be happy in relationship, and how to probably impress him and make him stick to me. These channels, they just come from the idea of lack. So my friend Tanaya, she told me this thing, that if you're putting too much energy into these things that origin from a lack, you're never going to find abundance. So how do you locate these the whole idea about abundance? The first thing is, everything is abundant. Love is abundant, money is abundant, you're never going to fall short of money, you're going to find happiness. You see abundance all around, so you're going to thank the universe for everything. So let's say that I am facing some financial problems, but if I can eat, and if I can manage a dinner for myself, and if I can pay my rent, and if I can pay for the services that I claim, then it's all good. Sometimes you do not look into what you don't have. I won't say sometimes, but you shouldn't look at what you don't have, because the more thankful you are to the universe, the more you'll get in return. Similarly, for health, some people say that they want to be healthier, they want to be slimmer, they want to be sexier, they want to be hotter. No, that's not how you approach it. You can always thank the universe for being able to breathe, for being able to understand what is being said to you, for being able to recognize people, for being able to smell, touch, feel, whatever. Okay, so this is how you express your thanks. Once you begin practicing gratitude, you'll find that you are able to recognize more things to be grateful for. In the initial days, what happened was that I had these series of dreams. I had these dreams like about my specific person, because we were not very happy, and we were facing these insecurities and the fightings and the arguments. I was also not on a very good term with the person I was working with for a book. So I had these weird dreams where I was going back to school again and again. It's been a long time since I've graduated from school, but I was going back into this high school mode. I was seeing these weird dreams about time and the examination hall. For a long time, I also thought that this was the post-traumatic stress that I was dealing with. But later on, when I got to know about the law of attraction and how this whole system works, I realized that no, it's not the PTSD, it's not the post-traumatic stress, but it's a fact that I want to learn more. So it was the universe's way of telling me that you got to unlearn certain things so that you can learn something more. So the whole conditioning that I had from the very beginning about money, about health, about looks, about my career, about any such thing, about a relation with a particular person, so I had to undo a lot of that. So this was the reason why I was going back into school, because in school as well, I was not a very confident kid. I was shy. I couldn't speak in public. I remember I wanted to say a lot of things, but the whole sight of maybe 100, 200 people sitting in an auditorium, it just scared the hell out of me, and I was thinking that I'm going to die. I literally had that feeling that I was going to die, and my father used to be so angry because he's a retired professor, and at that time when he was at the best phase of his career, then people used to look up to him, and being his daughter, it gave me this guilt that I could not deliver a lecture, or I could not say something in front of maybe 50 people in the classroom. That was so difficult for me. So when I was having these dreams about going back to school, I realized that I had to do a lot of unlearning for myself. And this is how this idea struck me, that in order to come out of a situation, you need to go back into that situation and undo certain things. How do you do these things? So certain beliefs that you have had since childhood, you need to eliminate that. Let's say you've been said that if you spend too much money, you're going to become poor. No, if you spend too much money, or if you spend money as you require, you're going to find out other ways of getting back that money into your system. So this, I just realized how it works, because I remember there was a day, I think some day, when I was talking to this friend of mine, that I had to uselessly spend 2 rupees on a photocopy which was not even required. But then in the washroom, in the ladies' washroom, I found a 2 rupee coin just in front of me in the basin. I don't know how it appeared, but yeah, I remember it was not there the moment I had entered the bathroom, because it was just next to the door. But when I came out after freshening myself, then I saw this 2 rupees coin on the basin. So I thought that, okay, so this is how it is. It was so easy to manifest what I wanted. The same way I wanted a discount code, because it's fancy these days that you get a discount code and you get to flaunt it. So I thought that, what if I get a discount code and I can just say that, yeah, you can buy these stuffs online and you can use my discount code and get things for this much amount, and you can avail a discount. The next day I was approached by two brands, because the whole time I was thinking that if I can manage a way of saving money, then I can always manifest a way of saving money. So the fact is that the way you treat a problem is the same way you get the solution. If you think that the problem is big, then the problem is actually big. If you think that the problem is small, it's actually very small. If you think there's not a problem, there's no problem at all. That's how you deal with it. So I was saying that, how do you know your manifestation is working? If you're just picking out on certain subtle hints throughout the day, or till the time your manifestation comes to fruition, then you'll find that this process is much easier for you. So another example I'm giving you was this episode with this ex-best friend, when I thought that he's probably not going to speak to me ever again, and he's not going to look at me, or we're not going to talk ever. I found these subtle hints in his behavior. Like, for example, he was not unkind just for no reason, and he used to play these songs on the gym stereo. I knew that those songs were for me, because I know how he is. We've been friends for some time, and I know how his mind works. He also put up his picture on WhatsApp. That picture was one of my favorites, and this is how I knew that he was also feeling that kind of he was down and he was emotionally drained for some reason, and he also wanted to talk to me. So I picked up on these subtle signs. So even though I was manifesting a text from him, but I was getting these subtle signs that, yes, he also wants to speak to me. Though later on I ended up speaking to him myself, because I forgave him for what he had said and what he had done, and he had tried to create this miscommunication. So I knew that this is how this manifestation worked for me. So even if I did not get a text from him, but I got these subtle signs which showed me that my manifestation had worked. Also, I got to know from other sources later on that in the cafe I sit, he used to pass by that cafe and he used to give a look through the glass wall whether I was sitting inside, because there were 2-3 occasions when I was working with my specific person for a project and I hadn't shown up at the cafe, and one of my friends at the cafe told me that, okay, we saw your friend passing by and he was probably looking out for you. So when you pick out on signs around you, maybe a happy post or a good news that you've just gotten from somewhere, just out of the blue, then you know that your manifestation is coming, and you know that you're going to be successful in this. That is the same for every element you can think of: money, success, career, your specific person, marriage, kids, anything you can say. A behavior of people, like I've seen the most successful ones at my personal equations with people, because people have been rude, because of course that's also a manifested version of them, but then suddenly people reaching out to me and saying how proud they are about what I'm doing. So I did not overthink about that matter. I did not overanalyze that situation, and I just surrendered to the universe. I expressed my gratitude, and I said that I'm extremely thankful that you find my work pleasant, and you find what I'm doing really worthwhile. You've located my books, and you seem to be very appreciative about my writing. So I was always expressing a word of thanks, and this is how I managed to get more and more positive reviews every single time I was doing something in my life. So even if I did not have the best of successes, but I counted the little successes that I had every single day, and I said thank you every time there was a positive event in my life. I did not miss out the event. I was saying Alhamdulillah, because that's how you say thanks to the Almighty in our culture. So I was saying Alhamdulillah for everything that I was having. I was getting and I was achieving every single day. So that's one way of knowing if your manifestation is working. The second way is a tougher way. I would not tell you to get to this point, but if there is a situation at all where you think that your manifestation is not working and you need to know whether it's working at all or not, is you don't chase, but you pursue it in your thoughts, which is you go to sleep thinking about it, not hard enough, but you think about what it would have been like. So it's like living in the end, but it's not actually living in the end. It's like you're just imagining a situation, you're just thinking that how happy you are, and you might even think that you are in that space and you are in that area where this particular event is happening. So let's say, for example, you want to be with a particular person. Now it's not very easy to imagine a person lying just next to you, because unless your visualization is absolutely great, you can just visualize. If it's easy for you to visualize, then your manifestation is working. But if you find that there are contradictory thoughts, that you can't concentrate and you are finding some difficulty in meditating, then it's not how it is. If you're finding it very easy to visualize and very easy to understand how things are working, so well and good, you're on the way. But if this visualization does not work for you, then I would suggest that you would go for something like scripting, or you can do that procedure that I told you to, that is making a flowchart and a diagram and making these doodles where you attach the events to certain names and then you interchange the situations and you make those situations in favor of you. You can do these things, but that's again a time consuming thing. If you're willing to do it, that's great, but if you're not, then you can always use the easiest way that I had earlier mentioned, that is picking up the subtle signs of positivity and of great things that you can locate and you can see in your day-to-day life. That's how I managed to know that manifestations are working. I've tried both the ways. I've tried the way of visualization. It's not easy for me to get out of a bad situation, but since I was really good at visualizing and I was really good at self-talk, if you're like, I was talking to myself the entire day, I was also impersonating my specific person, I was talking to myself and I was behaving like him, I was dealing with people in the way he would deal. So I was doing these things and it took me a lot of my energy. I was drained emotionally at the end of the day, because it's tough to keep up a certain image. You're obviously, in 24 hours there'll be a certain point where you will behave the way you actually are. So if you're putting up a show and if you're putting up an act like somebody else, it's going to drain you of that energy. If you're willing to do that, that's awesome, because this is how you're going to get a lot of result. The same thing goes for career. If you think that you want to become an astronaut, think that you're already an astronaut. How are you going to dress, how you're going to speak, how you're going to conduct yourself in public. If you want to become a millionaire, if you want to become a businessman, then you dress your part, you behave like that, you talk to people like that, you negotiate like that, and this is how you can get this visualizing thing to work for you. But for me, the first was easier, and that's why I stuck by it, and I stick by it till today, and I've seen amazing results. I'm very sure you're going to find a lot of help. But if the first part doesn't work for you, if the first way doesn't work for you, you can go for the second part, because that is infallible. You will find results immediately, and you'll know that your manifestation is working when you can visualize easily and you do not find a difficulty in putting yourself in first person and not in the third person. So that's all for today. I'll catch you guys later.